Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to learn about one of the most important and most used attributes in HTML, and that is the class. By the end of this video you will completely understand what it is, why we use it, and how to use it properly. So let's get started. So first of all, what exactly is the class attribute in HTML? The HTML class attribute is used to specify, let me write here, specify a class for an HTML element. Think of a class like a label or a tag that you put on an element. You're basically saying, hey, this element belongs to this group. Here is something very powerful. Multiple HTML elements, let me write here, multiple HTML elements can share the same class. Okay? That means you can give the same class name to a paragraph, same class name to a heading, same class name to a div element, any number of elements, and they will be treated as part of the same group. Now you might be asking, okay, but why would I want to group elements together? Great question. The answer is CSS and JavaScript. Okay. The main reason is CSS and JavaScript. When you give multiple elements the same class name, you can style all of them at once using CSS, or you can target all of them at once using JavaScript. This saves you a huge amount of time and keeps your code clean and organized. Understand? Now let's look at the syntax. How do we actually write the class attribute? Very simple. Inside an HTML opening tag, you write the word class, okay, followed by an equal sign, followed by the class name inside double quotes. Let me show you how you can do this. So you need div element, and you are going to use here the class attribute, and you are going to name your class. For example, I'm gonna use name my class name. Okay, so I'm gonna write here, this is a div. Okay, so I have chosen the name for the class. So the class name here is my class name. You can name your class anything you want, but there are a few rules. The class name cannot start with a number. Okay, class name shouldn't start with a number. It should have no spaces. If you want multiple words, use a hyphen, okay, or underscore like this one. You can use hyphen or you can use underscore. Class names are case sensitive. So my class and my class are two different classes. For example, if you use here, like we have, if you use here my class name, it is different from my class. Okay. Now let's see the real power of the class attribute, using it with the CSS to apply styles. In CSS, to target a class, you use a dot, okay, followed by the class name. Let me show you a complete example. So first of all, we need doc type HTML, then we need HTML document, then we need the head tag, and inside head tag we are gonna use style tag. So I'm gonna use dot highlight. Okay, it's a class name. We're going to give it later. And I'm going to set the background color. So background color would be, for example, yellow. And I'm going to set the font size for this class, and the font size would be, for example, 20 px. And I'm going to choose the color of the text would be black. Okay, so now let me open up the body tag. So inside the body tag, I'm going to use the h1 heading 1, and I'm going to give it the class. So class name is highlight. Okay, so now I'm going to write here, this is a heading. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I need paragraph tag, and inside this I'm going to use the class attribute and I'm going to name it highlight. Okay, and I'm going to write here this is a okay. And again I'm going to write here paragraph tag, and I'm going to write here this paragraph has no class. Okay, so now let me open up the preview tab so you can better check the so you can better observe the code. So for example, let me open up the preview tab. As you can see, I created a CSS called highlight. As you can see, it gives a yellow background, font size of 20 pixels and black text color. Then applied this class to the h1 heading, as you can see, and the paragraph. The second paragraph has no class. Okay, so it gets no styling, as you can see in the preview tab. So if you open up this in the browser, the heading and the first paragraph will both have yellow backgrounds, as you can see. The second paragraph looks plain. Both elements share the same class and get the same styles with just one CSS tool. That is the beauty of the class attribute. Understand? Now here is an other powerful feature. One element can have more than one class at the same time. How do you do that? Simple. You just write both class names inside the same codes separated by a space. Okay, so you can do this like if I write here, let me show you how you can do this. So you need paragraph tag, and you're going to use the class attribute, and I'm gonna use here highlight. Okay, and I'm gonna use here bold text. So let me close this tag, and I'm gonna write here this paragraph has two classes. Okay, so this paragraph now has two classes. First is highlight and the second is bold text. It will receive the styles from both classes at the same time. This makes your CSS very flexible and reusable. Okay, let me show you how you can do this. So if you add style for the bold text, dot bold text, and I'm gonna write here font weight would be, for example, bold. Okay, you can check the effect in the preview tab too. And I'm gonna set the font size for this 22 px. Okay, so in this way, as you can see, the paragraph has two classes. Okay, so if you for example, if you add more paragraphs, so the second gets only yellow background, and the third gets the bold with the yellow background. Okay, so the class attribute is not just for CSS, it's also very heavily used in JavaScript. So in JavaScript, you can use the method getElement by class name to select all elements that have a specific class name and then do something with them. Okay, so let me show you how you can do this. You need doc type HTML, document clearance, and HTML tag, a head tag, and inside head tag we are going to do nothing. So then we are going to start the body tag, and inside the body tag I'm going to use the paragraph tag, and I'm going to give it a class. The class name is demo. Okay, so I'm going to write here, for example, paragraph 1. Right here paragraph 1. So I'm going to use another paragraph, and I'm going to set a class. The class name is demo, and I'm going to write here paragraph 2. Then I'm going to use here another paragraph, and I'm going to set the class name for this paragraph 2, and I'm going to write here paragraph 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I need the script tag, but before the script tag we need the button tag. Okay, and button tag in this button tag we are going to use on click. Okay, on click property, and we are going to set it to change uh, color. So change color is a property and we are going to use it this. So if for example I'm gonna give it the name click me. Okay, now I'm gonna use this script tag. Inside the script tag I'm gonna use function change color. Okay, we have defined the function, so change color is our function, and I'm gonna set variable elements, and here I'm gonna use document dot get element by class name. Okay, so the class name is, as you can see, is demo, and I'm gonna use here the colon. So here I'm gonna use for, and variable I is equal to 0. Then I'm gonna use I is I mean less than elements. Okay, elements and dot length, and here I'm gonna use colon and I plus plus sign. Okay, then I'm gonna use here elements I, understand, dot style dot color. Okay, and I'm gonna set the color for this, and I'm going to set it red. So if I close the script, as you can see we have closed it already. So here all three paragraphs have the class demo. Okay, when you click the button, so when you click the button, the JavaScript function runs. Okay, it grabs all elements with the class name demo. Okay, so using get element by class name, then it loops through all of them and changes their text color to red, as you can see. All three paragraphs change it at once with just one function. That is the power of grouping elements with a class. Okay, now a very common question that beginners ask is, what is the difference between class and ID? A class can be used on multiple elements. Many elements can share the same class name. That's what we have been learning today. An ID, on the other hand, should be unique. Only one element on the page should have a particular ID. In CSS, you target a class with a dot, like dot highlight. You target an ID with a hash. Okay? In CSS. So use a class when you want to style or target a group of elements. Use an ID when you want to target one specific unique element. Alright, everyone, let's quickly summarize everything we learned today. First of all, we learned about HTML class attribute that is used to assign a class name to an element. Number two, we learned about multiple elements can share the same class name. Then at the number three, we use the CSS and we target a class using a dot, like dot class name. And number four, one element can have multiple classes. Just separate them with a space inside the quotes. And number five, in JavaScript, you can use get elements by class name function to select and manipulate all elements with a certain class. And number six, class is different from ID. Remember, class is for groups, ID is for unique single elements. Understand? And that is everything about the HTML class attribute. I hope this video made it completely clear for you. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future tutorials. Drop any questions in the comments below. I read every single one. See you in the next video. Happy coding.